Now, more of the MMA Plug with Jordan Kurtz on Mile High Sports.
We have another UFC former champion who had quite the weekend in Sean Strickland. You can call it Strickland versus the influencers or whatever throughout the weekend. Strickland against humans, I guess, if you were to ask Dana White. But over the weekend, Sean Strickland, he had a face-off photo opportunity with Donald Trump. He had a couple of viral moments at the Power Slap event. He sparred with a streamer or influencer, whatever you want to give him the title of, and he got called out by a couple of broccoli tops. Whether you love him or hate him, no matter who it is, getting a photo opportunity with a former U.S. president is a cool thing. It's something that not very many people have the opportunity to do. So again, whichever side that you're on, whether you even like that person or not, it's a cool thing to be able to take a picture with the president. And no matter who it is, you should want the president to do well, no matter what your affiliation is, because if the president does well, then that means that the country is doing well. Let's go, Brandon. In Trump's case, all politics aside, if you know your MMA history, you know that he has played a big role in the game for decades. Now, for one, he was a part of the group that owned and promoted Affliction, which in its short run was one of the biggest couple of shows that there were. He also lended a helping hand to the UFC back while they were in the dark ages, and according to all parties involved, the UFC might not have survived those days had he not been such a supporter and so lenient in renting out the or giving up his event space for them to be able to hold shows back in the day. I mean, the history is completely linked. If you do know your history, that is all facts, non-refutable evidence. There's no feelings within that those are the actual concrete things that he has been involved for that long. Strickland then had an interaction with the Chew Poppy weirdo Tik-Toker, whatever that guy, I don't even know what his handle is or any of that, but he tried to get a clip out of Sean, and Sean told him that if it were a different setting other than the Apex where he's employed by the UFC, it was the same company owns everything, he'd hit him and walk, but Sean just walked off. Didn't get his moment there. But it still was a viral clip just because Sean was being Sean and told him that he would have assaulted him otherwise. Then he has the altercation with Machine Gun Kelly, who, the last few years is kind of really weirded out as a whole. He was dressed like a vampire. So Strickland immediately took to social media and posted the South Park emo character. Hilarious. Spot on. He sparred with the influencer/streamer Sneako, who he also had an altercation with a few weeks ago at a Power Slap event. Strickland had choice words for influencers as a whole and what they do for a profession, but in that sparring match, he did turn up on the kid. He had big gloves on, so he didn't put him out. Forrest Griffin eventually broke it up. Got to give props to the kid. He didn't go down. He got his candy-ass whooped, but he took it like a man. Following this, he got called out by a couple of broccoli tops in Jake Paul and Bryce Young. Jake is obviously a better money fight if it were to actually happen, but apparently the UFC might have kicked the tire on this already at some point thinking about Jake, because they, according to Hunter Campbell of the UFC, the top lead dog for all the business side of things for the UFC, he shot the idea down because Jake has low sales numbers in terms of the money that he draws in, and the draw of the overall crowd is different, especially when compared to the May-Max situation. In that realm, Mayweather brought in a crowd that spent money. Jake's crowd is young adults and kids. That's what Hunter offered in return. Sean did offer to spar these guys. He also went so far as to say that it would be God answering his prayers if Bryce decided to show up because he'd finally get his wish of being able to delete a man. Sean Strickland is a wild dude. Stick around after the break, folks. We're going to close out the hour by going 3 rounds. I'm Jordan Kurtz. Give me a follow along online at Comments from the Peanut Gallery. This is the MMA Plug on 98.1 FM.
Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. That helps us continue to produce this original MMA content and bring it for you every single week. Tune in to the MMA Plug on 98.1 FM, Mile High Sports Radio.